Well, the ManxBioMed event is about to take place at the Claremont Hotel, and with me, Jim Mellon, our illustrious Manx resident, who does rare interviews, I always like to say, which is once a year with me. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Paul. Nice to be here.
Of course, this is your hotel, isn't it? It's part of the group, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's looking good.
It is,
yeah.
Isn't it? Christmas is here. Let's talk about the event, though, because you are keynote speaking again.
Well, I'm one of the two keynote speakers. Lauren Johnson, who's just over there, is the founder or chief scientist of Salix, a very successful American company, is going to be speaking as well. So,
okay.
There's two of us.
What's happened since last year? What movements have you seen?
Well, there's been terrific movement in terms of stock market capitalization and the markets. It's about 30% up in biotech. Again, it's been the best performing sector in the market. And that's been partly due to huge amounts of M&A. And you've probably seen that Shire was bid for, and actually that fell apart. Also, AstraZeneca was bid for. That also fell apart, but many other transactions have gone ahead. In fact, $350 billion worth of biotech transactions have taken place in the last year. So there's been a huge amount of activity in the sector. At the same time, you've had diseases being conquered. So the most prominent of those is hepatitis C. And Gilead, at the beginning of this year, launched its drug for Hep C, Sovaldi, and this year it's expected to sell about $14 billion worth of drug, i.e. the most successful drug launch in the history of the world. Right. So there's been a lot going on.
Now, this event and the Isle of Man, we're keen to find out where the connections is. What can the Isle of Man do for you for us?
Well, it's not so much for me, but in terms of doing stuff with biomed, it should be doing that, and it is doing that, and it's getting more serious about it. This is the world's biggest industry. It's not going to lose that position on the plinth anytime soon. It's growing faster because of demographics, and I think the Isle of Man has to kind of wake up to it. And so the best ideas, I think, for the Isle of Man would be to get involved in high-value manufacturing in the medtech sector, and in some collaborative research with universities either in the US or the UK. And I know that they're moving towards that, but I'd like them to move a bit faster.
Okay, well, you've got the ear of the government, I understand, like we always hear over here. You can
Well, maybe not enough of the ear, but Alan Bell's actually in the hotel at the moment having a coffee. And I think that it's difficult for government because this is a very high-tech area and there's no tradition in the Isle of Man of biotech research. But the Isle of Man, in some ways, suits aspects of biotech very well, and it's those areas in which I'm trying to encourage them to move forward fast.
Okay, because we've heard Courtney talk about various companies that have moved here, located, whatever, doing business through the Isle of Man. Yeah. Do you see that increasing?
Well, Courtney's doing a great job, and I think apparently there are 30 projects in the wings. I do think it's going to increase. The tax advantages that the Isle of Man has in some ways are not really applicable to biotech because we don't have tax treaties with many countries, in fact almost none at all. And so it's got to be more than just tax, and I think that's why high-value manufacturing assembly for the European market is something that's very interesting. And we've got a couple of companies that are looking at the Isle of Man at the moment.
Good. Before we go, be remiss not to mention your book that's out.
Yes, my fifth book. It's called Fast Forward. It's out on December the 17th. Proceeds to charity. It's on Kindle now, and it'll be in hardback on December the 17th, so please go and buy it. Lovely Christmas present.
Give us a little flavour. What's in it?
Look, we're here. There's one under the tree for you.
Right. Give a bit of flavour about the book, though.
It's about new tech. So it covers 7 chapters on new technology ranging from driverless cars to the life sciences themselves. And I think it's a very good present for people who have got teenage children because it tries to show what the future technologies are and where you should be concentrating your efforts in terms of finding a job and also learning.